We're live.
All right. Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome to the English Danny Channel live stream, say May 30, 2021 edition. Welcome to everybody who's joining us on Facebook or on YouTube or any other way that you're watching the live stream. All right. So I'm Dr. Don, and I've got a live stream with 4 segments ready for you today. I have 4 different things that I'm going to tell you a little bit about. I have a segment on this day in history, a segment on news of the world, a segment on some English phrases and words, and a segment on responding to your comments, questions, and feedback. All right, well, let's go. All right, first let's say hi to some of the people watching. Sajir says hi. Hi to you too. And Abdul says hello, sir. Hello to you as well. All right, and Abbas on Facebook says hello to you. And Cheat says on Facebook says hello, sir. Hello to you. And Abdul says hello from Facebook, and hello to you as well. All right, Justina Tenorio, who I recognize from previous live streams, is saying hello. Great to see you. That's excellent. And Sydney Kamola, hi from Tanzania. Okay, Tanzania. Way down south. And a shout out, please. Yep, Justina gave you a shout out there. And all right, so it says the live stream will start soon, but in a way, I think already started. Let's get started on our first segment, This Day in History. So this day in history, May 30. All right, so we're going to use May 30 as our this day. I know that some viewers, it might actually be May 29 for you. So our this day in history is May 30, 1911. The first Indianapolis 500 auto race was run. The Indy 500, it's usually called that, is an iconic automobile race in the United States, which happens every year on Memorial Day weekend, which is at the end of May. Iconic means something very famous or popular, something widely recognized, usually representative. An iconic thing is usually emblematic or representative of something. So Indy 500 is an iconic sort of Memorial Day event for a lot of Americans. What is the Indy 500? The Indy 500 is an auto race run on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's in a town called Speedway, Indiana, which is near the city of Indianapolis. And drivers drive around a racetrack. They make 2 laps around the track. And a lap, if you don't know, it's a complete trip around a racetrack. That would be called 1 lap. Do more, that's 2 laps, 3 laps, and so on. And they make 200 laps for a total distance of 500 miles. Hence the name, the Indianapolis 500. And in 1911, a driver named Ray Harroun won the first Indy 500 auto race. And he went around the track at an average speed of 120 kilometers per hour, which is 74 miles an hour. That's not that fast by today's standards. I think I can go more than 74 miles an hour in my car. But in 1911, it must have seemed incredibly fast to go around at that speed. So remember, that's 110 years ago. So that's cars weren't quite as fast then as they are now. Now today, the Indy 500 is actually going to be run again on May 30, 2021. There will be an Indy 500 today. It's Memorial Day weekend in the United States this weekend. And that leads me to my second segment, which is News of the World about Memorial Day. So this is Memorial Day weekend in the US, which is where I'm from. And Memorial Day weekend is a national holiday in the United States. And it's meant to honor all of the soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines while serving in the armed forces. So it's for military members, people who died while serving in the military. And these days, Memorial Day is celebrated on the last Monday in the month of May. And so that's May 31. So technically, May 31 is the actual day of Memorial Day. And then that day, plus the Saturday and Sunday before, are called Memorial Day weekend. And it's a holiday weekend. So most people will be off of work on Monday because of the national holiday. And there's a lot of different traditions associated with Memorial Day. And that's one of our key words for this segment is tradition. What is a tradition? It's a custom, a belief, or a practice which has existed for a long time. So something that is handed down from people came before you to you, and then you hand on to your children. And the tradition of Memorial Day in the United States is that it's kind of the unofficial beginning of the summertime, because the first holiday that comes just before the summer really kicks in. So because it's a holiday, it's always on a Monday, there's going to be a 3-day weekend. And so a lot of people celebrate with their families on Memorial Day weekend. They have a nice 3-day holiday off of work to celebrate. Not everybody gets the holiday, but a lot of people do. And another tradition of Memorial Day is in the morning, the flag, the national flag, is lowered to half staff. Half staff, when you have a flag at half staff, it's a way of demonstrating respect and sadness for people who have been lost. So if there's a national tragedy that's being remembered or the loss of life, you'll sometimes see flags lowered to half staff, a way of indicating respect and mourning. Another tradition for Memorial Day is the parades, Memorial Day parades. A parade is any public procession, usually people marching down the street in together with one another. And a parade is going to be something that celebrates a special day or a special event. There will often be bands or floats. A float is a vehicle with some kind of thing set up on top of it. It could be a display of some kind. It's called a float because it seems to float along the road. And in many cities and towns this weekend, there will be Memorial Day parades on this holiday. And some of the larger parades are usually televised, meaning they're shown on television. Right? So any public procession celebrating a special day or event is a parade. These are just some examples of traditions. And that brings me to my third segment for today, which is what about traditions? There are 4 words and phrases I'll show you for talking about traditions. So a tradition is a belief or a way of acting which people have followed for a long time. For example, shooting fireworks on the 4th of July is an American tradition for celebrating Independence Day. Or you could say something like, there's a tradition in our office of giving someone a cake on their birthday. So birthday cake is another example of a tradition. Let's look at some phrases that we use to talk about traditions in English. Here's a couple that are connected. You could keep up a tradition or be in keeping with tradition. Now, these phrases mean to follow or maintain or to observe a tradition. So, for example, here's a sentence. Keeping with tradition, we will have a turkey on Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is an American holiday. There's a tradition of eating a turkey with your family on that holiday. So in this example sentence, I'm saying our family is going to maintain or observe this tradition and eat a turkey together on Thanksgiving. That's a common tradition that many still follow. Here's another example use. We want to keep up the tradition of shaking hands when we meet. And this sentence means we want to maintain or observe the tradition of shaking the hand of a person when you first meet them. So keep up the tradition is to maintain it, to keep it. Now, opposite of keep up or maintain or keeping with tradition is break with tradition. And this phrase means to change or to not observe a tradition, or it can mean to do something in a new or unique way. So here are some example sentences. Everyone in my family went to college, but I broke with tradition and started a business after high school instead. So in this sentence, that was a family tradition of going to college, but this person broke with that tradition and did something in their own unique way. They started a business. And here's another example sentence. A lot of baby names these days break with tradition and try very different spellings. This means that baby names aren't always spelled in a traditional way. So, for example, you might see the name Dennis, which is traditionally spelled Denis. You see it spelled Dennys, for example. That would be a break with tradition by spelling something in a new way or equal. Now, our third phrase is, or word in this case, is heritage. Heritage means something that you inherit or receive from your ancestors or your family. So your cultural heritage is something you inherit or receive, culture you were born into. Let's look at some example sentences. So you could say, this house was part of my heritage from my father. And in that case, it would be that you received the house, you inherited it after your father died. It became part of your heritage, your inheritance, what you received. Here's another example sentence. This building is part of our national heritage. And this means a building that you're produced. So, for example, in India, it could be a building like the Taj Mahal. And you would say it's part of our cultural heritage, meaning it's something that your whole nation, your whole culture inherited from the past. And here's another example sentence. The paintings in the Louvre Museum are examples of cultural heritage. So museums are a key location where items of cultural heritage can be found. Let's look at one more word, and this one is a slang word that you'll see on the internet, and it's trad, T-R-A-D. And you can see that this word is clearly short for tradition or traditional. Actually, I think traditional is more accurate. Trad is a word used to indicate that the person using it is interested in traditional behavior or actions. I'm trad, or he's a trad calf. I'm trad means I'm a traditional sort of person. Trad calf, traditional Catholic, meaning he is a religiously traditional Catholic person. Now, the opposite of somebody who's trad would be something like unconventional, trendy. So an unconventional person is not traditional. They like to do things new or unique. And a trendy person is someone who, rather than follow a tradition, they follow a trend. What's popular right now? So what's going on currently? All right, so those are 4 words and phrases that are related to tradition. Keep up with tradition or keeping with tradition, break with tradition, heritage, or to be trad. All right, so those are our segments for today. And our 4th segment is about responding to your questions and comments. So any questions and comments that you might have, I'll be happy to respond to. Any reasonable and responsible questions and comments will be observed. Let's take a look at some examples. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of things here. A lot of different people. We've got a hello from Simon. A hello from Abdul Karim. How are you? We've got greetings from Gamini from Sri Lanka. We've got hellos from Balwinder and Halim and Nayab. And let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay, here's a comment. So Ashikur Rahman says, how have you been? Well, I have. Thank you very much. And I'm from Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. It is Cox's Bazar, which is the longest sea beach in the world. Oh, is it? Interesting. Okay, so the longest beach in the world. Well, how long is it? It's an interesting place to be from. Hong Shawan says hello. Kalang Kalang says hello from Laos. Okay, I think that's the first one I remember from, first viewer I remember from Laos. And we've got a greeting from Kerala, India. That's also good. All right. Um, yeah, so, and a very informative and fruitful discussion. Very good. And wow, a super sticker from Simon, a 5,000 won super sticker. Wow, hello. Thank you very much. And any comments that you would have, I would read out along with that, as long as it's not, as long as it's safe for YouTube, I'll be happy to read out any comments that come along with a super sticker. Fantastic. Okay, so somebody earlier was saying they were from Tasmania, which is in Australia. And then Janish says, I'm from Australia. That's great. Are you the one who is from Tasmania, or are you from somewhere else in Australia? Australia is pretty close to, I think, our time zone here in Korea. So maybe, I think there's a few hours, but pretty close to our time zone. And let's see, let me look at through some of the other comments that we've got. Someone is needing an English speaking class level, basic level, 156 kilometers long. Okay, that is quite a long beach. Wow. So someone who needs English speaking class, well, I can say that we have a number of English basic level English videos on our YouTube page, which you can check out. Some of those might help you out a little bit. So if you're someone who thinks that you're beginner level, we do have some grammar videos targeted to beginners like you. Give those a try, see if they help you out. Ashim from Pakistan says hello. All right, greetings to you too. Good to see you here. From Guinea in West Africa. Oh, great. Good to see. Good to hear from you as well. All right. Let's see. We have some more. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So one of the themes for today's uh, um, uh, uh, live stream was about traditions. So people could, if you don't have questions, you can also post some examples of traditions that you have in your countries. So if you want to share any traditions with us, we can take a look and see what you have. Somebody's asking about the Taj Mahal. Is it included in as one of the seven wonders of the world? So the seven wonders of the world. What are the seven wonders of the world? So these are, there's the sort of the old seven wonders. So these are classical things, like the Great Pyramids are an example. They're still around, the Great Pyramids. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, those no longer exist. The Colossus of Rhodes also doesn't exist. Lighthouse, Statue of Zeus. So most of them don't exist, but there's seven new wonders, and the Taj Mahal is one of the seven new wonders of the world, I'm pretty sure. The Great Wall of China is another one. I think the Colosseum in Rome is one. I think Chichen Itza in the New World is one. So yes, Taj Mahal is iconic. Yes, it is definitely an example of iconic. Because when I see the Taj Mahal, I think of, oh, this is in India. This example of a great architecture. So it's iconic of that nation. It's also iconic of an example of great architecture, of the era in which it was built. I think it's 19th century, 18th century. I don't remember exactly. So I want to say 18th or 19th century is when it was built. But someone can correct. They have better information on that. So yeah, that's good. That's a good question and good use of the word iconic. Yeah, do you have some traditions in your countries that you want to share with us? We can talk about here live on the stream. Let's see, oh, you know what? The Cox's Bazar Beach, you could almost say that would be probably an iconic location for Bangladesh. If it's the longest in the world, it must be quite an interesting site. And you could also say that something like that probably is an iconic sort of emblem for your country. So that's another example of something being iconic. All right, let me scroll through here our past comments, see if I missed anybody. All right, so we've got lots of different hellos. Oh, Adric Bernardi is saying hello, sir. I don't gave you a shout out earlier. So that's a hello to you. And Jamil Chiki, another shout out to you. Let's see, Halim Mehrez, greetings to you. All right. Kalang Kalang, I think I said already, because I remember looking at it carefully and trying to make I announced something close to correct. Oh, Boyd Kayabwe is saying hi, sir, and Atul Marinara. All right, very good. Suamli Ruangkam. That name sounds like it might be from Thailand or Laos, somewhere down there as well. So I know somebody else said they were Laos. That name sort of makes me think of those countries. Some traditions in your countries. So greetings from Ahmed bin Kora in Libya. Yes, I know someone who worked in Libya many years ago. And he told me about an iconic kind of coffee there that was made with lots and lots of sugar. It was a very, very sweet and hot coffee. Sundarban is another example of seven wonders of Bangladesh. Well, what is Sundarban? You should tell me about that. Renu Tharanikorn says hello from Bangkok. It's incredibly and hot here. Well, I wouldn't expect it to be anything else. So been to Thailand many times. One of the things that I like about Thailand is in the rainy season, there's going to be rain, but the rain will pass and then it will be about 85 degrees and sunny. So it's often warm and sunny, hot and sunny, many, many days. Imagine if the weather here could be a wonder. I don't know if the weather can be a wonder, but it could certainly be iconic. So the warmth and sun of Thailand is definitely kind of iconic. It's certainly something I think of when I think of Thailand. What is Sundarban? So yeah, I'm curious about that. Someone said that's another one of the wonders of Bangladesh. It's another example, he says, of one of the wonders. Okay, well, I'll look it up. Sundarban Delta. It's a forest, it says. Sundarbans is, it's a mangrove trees. Okay, so yeah, mangroves, yes. Yeah, I bet that would be iconic because the tree sort of hanging over. If you haven't seen a mangrove tree, you should look it up and take a look at some of the images of the mangrove tree. They're very distinct looking. Definitely something I think of when I think of the subcontinental region of the world. Okay, so let's see. Greetings from hello from Pakistan, but the script is in Arabic, which I can't read easily. So I actually did take a couple of classes in Arabic where I learned a little bit about the script and the writing, and I know how to say shukran, which is thank you. So thank you very much for saying hello. And Jamari Ikal says hello from the Philippines. Hello to you as well. Glad that you're here. Glad you could be with us. What are some traditions in your country? What are some traditions in Pakistan, Philippines, Thailand? You could share any of those. Us, be happy to take a look. Sar Fode says, I'm from Guinea in West Africa. Ziad, who I've seen before, and hello. I want to make sure that we recognize your return. Let's see, anybody else that I've missed? I think I've got most. I want to make sure that everybody, yeah. Sundarban is also full of tigers, deer, pythons, foxes, and so on. Okay. Python is a snake. If you don't know, it's a big, big snake, very, very powerful, and they kill their prey by curling their long, thick bodies around them and strangling them, and they eat them up. So yes, pythons very dangerous, but usually you can stay away from them. Big. Wakas Ahmad. Okay, good to hear from you. So he's our friend from Pakistan saying hello, and Muhammad Munir also saying hi on Facebook. Good to see you as well. All right. Okay, so we could talk about some different traditions. Traditions of, I've talked about a couple Memorial Day traditions in the United States. Of course, a lot of people know about different Christmas tradition. Christmas has become kind of a well-known holiday around the world. And in the U.S., there are traditions on Christmas of putting up a tree and exchanging presents with other people. Here in Korea, There is a Christmas tradition as well, but one thing difference in the United States, Christmas is more of a family tradition where families get together. But here in Korea, Christmas is more of a couple's tradition. So boyfriend and girlfriend share a special day on Christmas, which is, I think, an interesting change. So in a way, they keep up the tradition because there's exchanging of gifts, but in a way, they break with tradition because their tradition is more focused on two people in love rather than on a family that's living together. So that's an interesting way of actually using some of the different different vocabulary phrases that we learned about today. And let me just scroll through here some of the different comments. So Josue Sanchez from Nicaragua saying, how are you doing? I'm chatting to you from Nicaragua. We are so far. Yes, it's quite far away. So that's in Central America. I would like something about the adjective fun, especially in comparatives and superlatives. Can I use funnier or funniest or just more fun? Okay, so funnier or funniest would be comparative or superlative of the adjective funny, meaning something that makes you laugh, something that is amusing. But fun is a different word. That's an adjective meaning exciting or enjoyable, something that is fun to do. And when you use the comparative or superlative of fun, then you do use more fun or most fun. This was the most fun I've had in a long time. I hope today's class is more fun than last class. So the adjective fun is actually an unusual one in that usually it would be funner or funnest because usually you add ER to short adjectives to turn them into comparatives and EST to turn them into superlatives. But with fun, no, we just say more fun and most fun. But funny is a different word. So funny means, oh, haha, that's funny. It made me laugh. And there you do change it to ER in EST. Funnier and funniest. So yeah, that's your answer for that one. That's a good question. And then Simon is sharing a tradition. In my country, we get money as children when our baby teeth fall out. Money from the tooth fairy under our pillow. Yes, okay. So in the US, that is also a tradition. So you know that when you're born and until you reach a certain age, you have one set of teeth. And these teeth are called baby teeth. They're a little smaller than adult teeth. And they eventually fall out and your adult teeth grow in. And so there's a tradition of you put your baby teeth under your pillow and you get some money for it. I think that the amount of money you get has changed over the years because when I was younger, it was maybe a quarter. And I think today they put $1 or $5 because a quarter isn't worth very much anymore. So maybe 30 years ago it was a quarter, and now it's like $1. So yes, that's a good one. Justina asks if I'm a pure American. I'm not sure, but after watching your stream, you mentioned you were staying in America. So yeah, I am. I was born in America. Both of my parents are American, but I live and work in Korea now. But I'm not Korean, so I'm just living here, working here. That's a good question. I mean, reasonable question. Ashikur asks, I would like to thank my honorable sir to discuss the topic elaborately and nicely. I hope I've done that. Thanks once again for your nice explanation and presentation. I am really overwhelmed to see your nice explanation. And that's pretty good English. So good use of vocabulary there. Overwhelmed, that's a good word, meaning sort of I'm surprised and overcome to see it. Correct use. Pretty good sentences there that I just read. So good to hear from you. Jamari says, here in the Philippines, we have the longest Christmas season. It takes about a few months, actually. Wow. Okay, so a few months. That's the longest holiday time I've heard of. Prior to that, one of the longest holidays I experienced was the Chinese New Year, which in China often lasts for the whole month. In that there's celebrations and things going on almost for a whole month of time. A lot of things are shut down or on working on hours because that is a big holiday they have for the whole year. But several months for Christmas, that's a crazy amount of time, long time. Okay, Justina gives thanks, says we're learning a lot from you. I hope so. Mazhar Sangal says, I'm new with you, sir. Well, hello. I'm glad you joined us. and I hope you can stick around and learn a whole lot more. And here's a link for a video we have on comparatives and superlatives. So someone asked earlier about, our friend from Nicaragua asked about how to use certain comparative adjectives, funny and fun. You can check out this video that you see on the screen for a little more information on using comparatives and superlatives. All right, great. These are great comments, and good to hear from some new viewers. I see that we've got, looks like we've got about 67 people watching right now, and a lot of good reactions, laughs, faces up, thumbs up, hearts. Love to see all of you. We're thankful for all of you for being here for, today with us. Hope you can learn some English, and practice your English a little by listening and writing. Anything that you, if there are any more comments, we'll be wrapping up this live stream here in a few minutes. So last chance for any questions or comments. Let me just check through, make sure that we've gotten all questions and comments out of the way. I don't want to miss anybody, since it's easy to make sure everybody's represented. So someone's learning basic speaking. I think I talked a little bit about that. So I'm looking through here. Looks like we've got just about everybody. That's great. That's great. I want to make sure everybody has gotten a little bit of time, a little shout out for everybody. Let's see. And let me see if I can think of one more good tradition. Okay, we got a last bit of thanks from Simon. Thank you very much. Always good to hear from our viewers from all around the world. All right, very good. Let's see. I had one more tradition that I was trying to remember. See if I can remember it. Yes. Thank you for the information. Good. And dream about LA. Okay, I will indeed. And you can too. Our last, oh yes, that's right. Our last tradition is saying thank you very much when someone has done a favor for us, and you've been thanking me, and now my turn to thank you, because you also did us a favor by tuning in today and watching our live stream. So thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time, everybody. All right, take care. And